What's up, folks? How's it going? This is Watch from MW Technology, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 70My Omni. It's a 360-degree dash cam that has a couple of different smart features enabled inside, which might make it a little bit more capable than your traditional dash cams that only have one perspective. With that 360-degree rotating camera, you have obviously the ability to shoot vlogs like what we're doing right now. We're shooting 1080p at 30 FPS with the HDR setting on. Now, you can also shoot 60 FPS, but HDR has to be disabled. If you want HDR, it's 30 FPS at 1080p. We're going to take a look at the actual video quality of this dash camera to see if it's going to merit whether you can actually use this practically if you want to show proof of fault or proof of not fault in insurance situation, as well as its other smart capabilities of being kind of an all-in-one surveillance vehicle camera. So let's get right into it.
Now, before we get into the main features of the Omni, I want to take you through the unbox process. As you can see, as soon as we open the box, we have the dash cam. It's very compact overall form factor and design. It's not going to obscure your vision too much once it's mounted on your windshield. And at the top, we have a rotating camera design. It can physically rotate up to 340 degrees, but it has a 140-degree field of view within the camera, so when it does rotate, you're more than enough coverage for 360 degrees. At the back, you also have a small LCD display, as well as two buttons on the side, which is enter and up and down, giving you access and control of the internal menu, which is fairly limited compared to the app that you're mainly going to be using to control this thing. Within the accessory compartment of the box, you have a 10-foot USB Type-C to A power cable, as well as a USB car power adapter, so it's pretty universal in terms of its power connectivity options. You also have a pry tool specifically used for hiding the cable underneath your car trim pieces. Now, in addition to that, we also got the hardwire kit, which is going to enable the parking surveillance mode. And in this box, you're going to find a wire that has USB-C power that goes to the dash cam and 3 exposed wires on the other end. One is ground, the other one needs to have continuous power to the unit, and the other one needs to have accessory power. You typically want to tap these in to your car's internal fuse box. Can be a little tricky to do so you might want to get some professional help or a DIY it, but this is not an absolute necessity, especially if you're not going to really utilize parking surveillance mode, where it will capture and record any kind of suspicious behavior around the car when it's turned off. If you're just going to use it as a simple dash cam when the car is on, you can simply just use the standard USB cable to power the dash cam. Now, installing the Omni was really simple and straightforward. It came with a plastic membrane that both gives you a template on how to mount your camera in the correct orientation, as well as protect your windshield at the same time so you don't damage the windshield when you're installing or removing the dash cam. So as a first step, you want to locate on where you're going to install your dash cam, clean that area thoroughly on your windshield, install the plastic membrane using its adhesive backing, make sure there's no air bubbles. Then, as you can see at the bottom of the dash cam itself, there's an adhesive backing with a removable film. You can see that there's a notch kind of in the top portion of the area. You want to match that notch to the template and stick the dash cam on the template itself fairly securely with a good amount of pressure, and you're pretty much mounted. Next is to install the USB wire, and you want to basically find the shortest, cleanest pathway from the dash cam down towards your 12-volt power connection. You can run the wire in a couple of different ways. Basically, you want to find whatever works best for you. And luckily, you have the plastic pry tool that will help you hide the wire within your trim pieces on your upper headliner down towards your A-pillar, and eventually through the dashboard and by your power connection, which in my case is right above my cup holders on our Prius Prime. Now, once you have everything connected, it's going to power up the dash cam and turn on the built-in Wi-Fi. You then want to download the 70My app on your iOS or Android device. Once you have the app installed, you can find your Omni and connect to its local Wi-Fi network. The app is really simple and intuitive to use, and the entire setup process process from start to finish was under 15 minutes based on my experience. Now, once you're connected within the app, you can change the angle of the tripod head or camera angle position by just going left and right within these on-screen touch tiles. You can also set the default position of your tripod head once your vehicle starts, as well as once it's in its park position, whether that's facing towards the left, right, interior, front of the car, etc. Now, when you're driving, obviously you can't change the angle of the lens manually using the app, so there are some built-in voice commands that you can utilize, such as shoot left, shoot right, shoot inside, as well as shoot a vlog, where it'll actually do a 360-degree pan all the way around to capture your entire scene. Now, during your day-to-day use, the camera is recording at all times, which is what you want, and on the rear-mounted display, you're going to typically see a little robot mascot or emoji named MyX or Max, which is something 70miles came out with to give the dash cam a little bit more of a personality, kind of a robot companion. And for some, they might find this a little bit cute and entertaining, and for others it might be a little bit annoying, perhaps even distracting. So there are features where you can turn off the emoji, leave the screen blank if you require a more minimalistic experience. Now let's talk about the most important thing, and that is the image quality. Now specifically, we're using an Omni Vision imaging sensor on the Omni. It's the OS02K10, has an aperture of f1.5, can record 1080p, and some people may say for the price you can get 4K dash cams, but I think you're gonna trade off some of that low light performance when you up the resolution, and this has excellent night vision capabilities, and in pretty much most clear situations, day or a nighttime, if the car in front of you is about 10 to 20 feet away, it's going to be legible. So you have a nice security blanket if you need that information on the road. Now, when things get a little bit more tricky is in more rough weather conditions, whether that be fog, rain, extreme glare from the sun, or headlights, in addition to snow and things like that, where things might be a little tricky. But even in some scenarios, you might luck out. I've had really bad situations where I can read the license plate in super heavy duty rain, like over here, and in other situations during sunset with heavy backlighting or glare issues with lots of headlights, we are washing out that information on the car in front of us with our headlights, and it's illegible. I wouldn't be able to retrieve this information if I needed to. So it does, depending upon your scenario, but generally as a 1080p dash cam, it definitely does a good job of capturing most of your important information on the road if you do need it in ideal situations. Now, retrieving your footage is pretty simple and straightforward. You go within the app, connect to your Omni Dash Cam, and you can go into the library, and you have a timeline where you can find a specific date and time period of where your incident occurs, and you can scrub through that timeline fairly efficiently. And you also have a list of videos with larger thumbnails. In both cases, you should be able to find your video footage fairly efficiently and quickly. Now, in addition to all that, you also have expanded advanced driver assistant aids built inside, which will actually track things like moving vehicles in front of you, also do things like lane keep assist, and even watch out for pedestrians and cyclists within the road environment. The settings for the ADAS is within the app itself, and you can fine-tune some of the parameters, and in most cases, it will definitely make you more aware of specific hazards in the environment. But for me specifically, I found some of these features to be a little bit annoying at times, especially when they're inaccurate. For example, the lane keep assist will warn you that you're drifting off to another lane, even though you're making a deliberate lane change. And when you're following a vehicle at a normal traffic distance, it will tell you that you might be in a pre-collision incident coming up very soon.
Caution, front car. Caution, front car. Lane departure. Lane departure.
But we're just following traffic, and it definitely makes those mistakes and is a little bit more conservative in terms of its driving parameters. So factors that you definitely want to consider if you're going to be using these enhanced safety features. However, one benefit of all these advanced safety features is since the Omni is detecting all traffic activity around you, it will know once you're in a collision and make sure that you at least have 5 seconds of recording prior to that collision. A key piece of evidence that will be absolutely crucial if need be. Now, since we didn't hardwire the Omni into our car using the hardwire kit, we can't utilize some of the parking surveillance capabilities. And some of those include the AI motion detection, which will actually detect humans and different activity all around the car once you're parked. It will also be a 24-hour surveillance system using time-lapse recording to make battery life and storage time as efficient as possible, so you can run through an entire long sequence of events within a short period of time using that, and as well as being kind of a 360-degree watchdog for your car once it's in park mode. So unfortunately we didn't get to test that, but if I do find the time to hardwire it in, we'll make a update within the comment section down below. But beyond those key features, I think the Omni is an excellent 360-degree dash cam. It definitely fills in that niche if you want to record within the vehicle inside, as well as record to the extreme left and right, which might be pretty handy given that rare circumstance where you capture something on the left or right side of your vehicle. Now, in most case scenarios, most people are going to be pointing it at the front, and based on its pretty decent 1080p video performance, it's definitely very usable and quite handy as a regular dash cam. Now, beyond those notions, if you want more information about the 70mi Omni, check out the description down below. We want to thank 70mi for sponsoring this content and giving us the opportunity to test this unit out. I'd love to know if you guys are running any specific dash cams, and if so, do you find them handy, useful in any way? Love to hear your thoughts. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you have subscribed and turned on post notifications of our channel. We want to thank you so much for your support. Like the video if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Take care.